Hey, welcome. Have you experienced a lack of balance in different areas of your life? I would bet that is the case this year, but maybe you're one of the lucky ones, or just maybe you have planned this out better, that you have found balance in this chaotic year. Welcome to Connector Dots. These are brief, candid insights on healthcare, pharmacy, and life for connectors and pharmovators. Today, during Wisdom Wednesday, we're going to be exploring work-life integration and how we can measure it. Wednesdays, I do like to talk about personal development topics, and that's why I call them Wisdom Wednesdays. So I'm your host, Kimber Booth. If you haven't met me yet, I'm a pharmacy healthcare leader, entrepreneur, and I'm currently helping pharmacists strategically advocate for roles and resources to advance practice and have engaging, joyful careers. I previously talked about why I have circles in my my logo of my business, and it was because years ago people started calling me a connector, and I really latched onto it. I like that idea because I would talk a lot about connecting the dots. Well, when it comes to my life, I do like to think about my life in this way, but I will tell you how I think about it more as a Venn diagram, where some things do overlap, and I do like to have integration. So I do think you can have it all. You definitely have to balance, but my philosophy is definitely to have as much work-life integration and connection as possible, which is why I tend to show the four categories that I group my life into is a Venn diagram. And if you connect with me later at kimberbooth.com/connect, I'll definitely send you the visual tool that I use for this exercise. So do you want to have a connector life? We're going to talk about how you can rate yourself and make a plan. So being a connector allows you to have balance, excellence in all areas of your life, from yourself, family and friends, career, and community. So that's the four ways that I break it down. I know there's different assessments you can do in planning where people break it down even further, and they separate out things like finance, and they would have family separate from friends, but that gets too complicated for me. So I like to think of it in these four buckets, and it helps me to score myself on a regular basis as to how I'm doing in those areas. And of course, during my annual planning process, and when I do my updates and my quarterly goals and all of that, I'm looking back at these four areas to see if I'm achieving what I wanted to do in these areas of my life. So what I'll encourage you to do, and again, you can maybe have different categories. If you do, definitely leave me a note in the chat and let me know how you group your life. But what I encourage you to do is to score yourself. And I just use a basic 1 to 10 score. 1, being lower score, not so good in that area, and 10 being a high score. You can score yourself in each of these four areas and think about what your current rating is and what your goal rating is over the next 90 days. So if you're really low, so if we think about your self score, maybe you're not taking care of yourself right now. You're not making time for mental health, for balance, for exercise, time to yourself. Maybe you're only a score of 3, and to have a realistic goal to get to 10 in 90 days, that might not be realistic. So you might want to say that in 90 days, I would get to a 7, and then think about what specific actions you're going to take. You really want to think about the specific actions you want to take for those, and ideally identify the most important one that's going to get to your goal. You can do some brainstorming here, but obviously if it's too long of a list, you probably won't do it. So take the time. You can take a piece of paper, or like I said, if you go to my website and you sign up for my list, you can go to kimberbooth.com/connect, and I'll send you an actual template where you can see the Venn diagram, and you'll have a template where you can fill out your rating, your goals, your actions, and when you're going to do it. So again, the four areas are self, family and friends, career, and community. So I think they're pretty straightforward, but we'll talk a little bit more about them. So the self, obviously, just mentioned a few examples of that, things that have to do with you and how you're taking care of your mental health, your physical health, for you personally. Your family and friends could be related to the time and energy you're putting into supporting and engaging with your family and friends, albeit likely virtually these days. Your career or business, depending on what role you're in, how are you scoring yourself there? There are definitely times in my life where I have spent a lot more time on this area, and other things have taken a little bit more of a backseat to some of my other initiatives. But the fourth one that I find is very important, and there was a period in my life where I wasn't doing as much with community, that I really did miss it. And many of you are professionals. If you're listening to me, you're connecting, more than likely that helping support our community, we have a lot of skills, knowledge that we can give back. And so there's different ways we can give back. I've definitely given back a lot in the pharmacy profession, in volunteer leadership roles, but also to my community through my church, through volunteer trail activities. Those are like multi-use trails for biking and hiking, and my favorite, rollerblading. So those are the ways that I've liked to give back to community. And I try to do both. Literally, my annual plan, I do have activities related to the pharmacy profession, as well as activities related to community volunteer groups that I like to be involved with. So again, this is a short one today. I just wanted to jump in and tell you about this opportunity to have a connector life. It is actually why I named my podcast The Connector Life. So check it out. Take some time to do this. I like to revisit this at least once a month. Some people do this every week as part of their planner, but I have it more as part of my monthly planning process for me. So that's what works for me. So I'll invite you to join me for future Connector Dots. Tomorrow is Leadership Thursday, where we do more professional development topics. So again, go to kimberbooth.com/connect so that you can get the tool to do this. It's already drawn out for you. And I'll just ask you, as I usually end this, to be bold, be a connector, advance healthcare and pharmacy practice. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Bye.